This tutorial shows you how to install the R package RMark as well as the Mark recapture program Mark on the Ubuntu Linux operating system. This tutorial assumes you are using Ubuntu Linux version 20.04 as your operating system, although you can skip this tutorial and use my pre-configured Ubuntu Linux virtual machine that already has everything you need pre-installed. This virtual machine will work on your Windows or Mac computer, and it comes pre-configured with the software I will show you today, as well as other population genetics and ecological niche modeling software. See the show notes below for step-by-step instructions to download and hook up this virtual machine within your Windows or Mac computer. This tutorial assumes you have RStudio installed on your machine, which also requires R to be installed. I have a tutorial for this in the show notes below, or you can use the pre-configured virtual machine that I already made for this purpose that I mentioned earlier. Let's go ahead and get started. Open up a browser window, which I have pinned to my favorites on the left, or which you can find by searching below. Navigate to my website, joshbanta.com. Click on Tutorials. Scroll down until you find how to install the R package RMark in the table of contents and click on it. Click on Files Needed for Tutorial. Click the Download button. When the download is complete, you may close the Google Chrome software. Open up File Explorer, which I have pinned to my favorites on the left, or which you can find by searching below. Navigate to your Downloads folder. Double-click on the file How to Install RMark.zip. This file is contained within a compressed zip archive. We have to move the file out from this compressed zip archive to another location to make it available for use. Click back on File Explorer and navigate to the desktop. Now click on the Archive Manager software, highlight the file that we need, and drag it to the desktop folder of File Explorer. You may now close the Archive Manager software as well as the File Explorer. This is a quick splice to ask you to consider subscribing to my channel by hitting the subscribe button. It does not cost anything. It is totally free. But if you like what I am doing and want to support my work, I encourage you to visit patreon.com/joshbanta and make a voluntary contribution. The link is in the show notes below. Your support helps me to deliver new content and keep this channel current and vibrant. Thank you. Open up RStudio, which I have pinned to my favorites on the left, or which you can find by searching below. Click on File, Open File. Click on Desktop. Select the file How to Install RMark and click on Open. I have notes in here for installing RMark. The first thing we have to do is open up the terminal window and fix a Google key error. So click on Terminal, which I have pinned to my favorites on the left, or which you can find by searching below. Click back on RStudio, highlight the command on line 3, but do not highlight those hash symbols, also known as pound symbols. Right-click on a Windows-style mouse or push down on a Mac trackpad with 2 fingers and select Copy. Click back on Terminal. Right-click on a Windows-style mouse or push down on a Mac trackpad with 2 fingers and click on Paste. Now click on Enter. It's asking for the password for this virtual machine, Stanley's famous.com 75702. Now click back on RStudio again. Next, we need to make sure that R is installed properly. Highlight line 5 except for those 2 hash symbols. Right-click on a Windows-style mouse or push down on the Mac trackpad with 2 fingers. Select Copy. Navigate to Google Chrome. Right-click on a Windows-style mouse or push down on a Mac trackpad with 2 fingers and select Paste. Hit Enter. We will run all of the lines of code that you see here before you. First, highlight everything in the first box. Right-click on a Windows-style mouse or push down on a Mac trackpad with 2 fingers and select Copy. Navigate back to the terminal. Right-click on a Windows-style mouse or push down on the Mac trackpad with 2 fingers and select Paste, and hit Enter. Click back over to the open browser window. Highlight the next snippet of code. Right-click on a Windows-style mouse to copy, push down on a Mac trackpad with 2 fingers to copy, then come back over to the terminal and paste that command and press Enter. Click back over to the browser window. Highlight the next snippet of code, copy it, click back over to the terminal, paste it, and click on Enter. Click Enter to continue. When finished, click on RStudio. We now need to install the RMark package within RStudio. Highlight line 7 except for the double hash marks, and then click on Run. When finished, we need to separately download the standalone program Mark and install it on our Linux machine. Highlight line 9 except for those hash symbols. Copy it. Go to your browser window. Erase the old address in the browser window and paste in the new one. This will download the compressed zip archive containing the Mark software. When finished, you can close the browser window. Click on File Explorer. Navigate to your Downloads folder. Double-click on the compressed zip archive mark64.zip. Click back over to File Explorer, navigate to your desktop. Drag the file mark64 to your desktop. When finished, you may close the Archive Manager software. Click on mark64 on your desktop. Right-click on a Windows-style mouse or push down on a Mac trackpad with 2 fingers and select Rename. Rename this file simply to Mark and click Rename. We now need to copy this file to a different location. Click on RStudio, highlight line 13 except for the hash symbols, and copy it. Click on Terminal and paste. Click on Enter. Now click back on RStudio. We need to make the file executable. Highlight line 16 except for the hash marks. Copy it. Click back over to the terminal. Paste it and hit Enter. Now click back over to RStudio and we will verify that our installation of Mark and RMark was successful. Click on line 18 and click on Run. Now we're going to run some test data. If this test data runs successfully, then we have successfully installed Mark and RMark. Click on line 19 and click on Run. Now click on line 20 and click on Run. We have successfully installed Mark and RMark on this machine.